Welcome to the kidsministry.blog podcast. Every episode, we share ideas, tips, and resources to help your children's ministry thrive.
Okay, picture this. It's Sunday. It's maybe 12:30.
Yeah.
You are so tired. There are goldfish crackers ground into the carpet, and you finally get a second to just breathe.
And then you see it.
You see a parent walking towards you with that look. You know they are not coming over to compliment the snack choice.
We have all felt that pit in our stomachs. It's that classic parent confrontation. But we're looking at a guide today from kidsministry.blog that suggests the whole conflict. It might not even be about your teaching.
Right. It might be about your reporter.
Exactly.
The article kicks off with this story that is just... It's both hilarious and absolutely terrifying. A kid goes home, tells their parents the lesson was about a boat that saved everyone from drowning.
And of course the parent hears that and assumes you've just spent Sunday morning teaching a class about the Titanic.
Which would be a very strange theology lesson, to say the least.
A very strange lesson. But the teacher had actually taught Noah's Ark. The kid just, rebranded it.
This is what the article calls the telephone effect. But, and this is the part I found fascinating, the source says this isn't just kids being bad reporters. It's about how they process information.
It's emotional. They process events emotionally, not chronologically.
So they remember the scary part, but not the resolution, the good part.
Precisely. They report the conflict, the drowning, the danger, but they miss the whole context of, God's promise or the safety of the ark. So a lesson on redemption becomes this terrifying report about a disaster.
They aren't lying.
No, not at all. They're just reporting their emotional reality.
That puts the parents' anger in a whole new perspective. I mean, they're not just trying to be difficult.
Yeah.
They're reacting to a story that sounds genuinely concerning.
But when they're in your face, that instinct is to defend yourself immediately.
Absolutely. So does the source give a way to, bypass that adrenaline spike?
It does. You have to fight that urge to just say, I didn't say that. The single most effective strategy is to switch from being the defendant to being an investigator. You just ask one simple question. What exactly did the child tell you?
It makes them have to replay the tape.
It does, and it slows everything down. There's a great example in the notes where a parent came in hot, claiming the teacher taught their kids to be afraid of God's punishment.
Wow. That's a heavy accusation.
A very heavy one. But when they actually talked it out, the lesson was really about God's love and forgiveness. The child had just fixated on the sin has consequences part and totally missed the but there's grace part.
So you find the gap between what was taught and what was heard.
And once you find that gap, you can de-escalate. But, and this is a big but, this only works if you can prove what you actually taught.
And it's where having a paper trail saves you.
Yes. If you're using a structured curriculum like the Gospel Project or Grow Curriculum, you have a physical document. You can literally open the book and say, look, here's the script we used, here's the Bible verse.
It takes the he said, she said right out of it.
It makes it objective. It's not about your memory versus their kid's memory. It's about the facts.
Okay, but that works if you stuck to the script. Let's be honest. Sometimes we go off script. Sometimes we actually do get it wrong.
And that's maybe the hardest part of this guide. It talks about radical honesty. There's a story about a teacher who told the class, God won't give you more than you can handle.
I mean, I hear people say that all the time.
It's a common saying, but it's not really biblically accurate. So when a parent pointed it out, the teacher had a choice. They could argue, get defensive, make excuses, or just own it. And it is so hard to look a critical parent in the eye and say, you know what, you're right, I was wrong.
That's physically painful.
It is. But the source argues that admitting the mistake instantly disarms the whole situation. Parents respect humility way more than they respect perfection. It actually builds trust.
Because they know you care more about the truth than your own ego.
Exactly. But there is one area where you should be, well, not defensive, but protective.
Your volunteers.
You never, ever join a parent in criticizing a volunteer. The source shares this story about a volunteer who looked like she was just scrolling on her phone during class. A parent complained, and it looked bad.
It looks like she doesn't care about the kids.
Right. But when the leader looked into it, it turned out the volunteer was texting with her family about a medical emergency with her mother.
Wow.
Yeah. If the leader had just agreed with the parent to make them happy, they would have completely demoralized a faithful volunteer over a total misunderstanding.
It really all comes back to that main theme, doesn't it? Missing context.
Almost always.
But surely there are times where you just can't win, where the context doesn't matter.
Absolutely. The guide calls it the impossible standard. You'll have one parent complain there are too many new songs, and another complain there are too many old songs. in the very same week.
You can't please everyone.
You can't. You have to learn that criticism of your teaching methods is fair game. But personal attacks or just simple preference wars, that's just noise.
So in the end, you have to play the long game.
Exactly. One angry conversation on one Sunday doesn't mean you're failing. The goal isn't to customer service the parents into being happy. The goal is to serve the kids and teach faithfully.
That's a really important perspective shift. So maybe here's a thought to leave you with. The next time you hear a rumor or a piece of criticism that's based on hearsay about you or someone else, what's your first instinct? Do you jump to defend your reputation, or do you stop and ask the one question that can change everything? What's the missing context here?
Because usually that context changes everything.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening. To find more ideas, tips, and resources, go to kidsministry.blog. We'll see you next time.